you have evolved from being just a BMX rider to being a stuntman, like actual stuntman, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I've been doing stunts the whole time. Like my first stunt job was in high school, and then I do jobs sort of between 1995
In
and
high school, like on a movie set.
Yeah, or commercials or whatever it was. I mean, yeah, but we're all bike related, right? There was always like, because I worked on Pacific Blue and doubled like mountain bike cops, and but it wasn't until 2005 I did this movie called Stick It, which is like a gymnastics movie, and there's a big BMX sequence in the beginning, and then Mall Cop happened where I play the bad guy, and we do bike stuff, and with Mike V, and Jason did it well.
Yeah, I was there.
And then it wasn't till then I started doing TV host stuff. So I was like a TV host, all those adventure shows. And then somewhere around 2012, after I did Ant-Man, is when I really started focusing on it more. Like I just spent half the summer. I've been about 6 weeks this summer in Fort Worth. Every other week I flew back out there, so it felt like the whole summer, working for a guy, this legendary stunt guy, Wade Allen, and another guy, Gabe Nunez, on the Paramount Plus show Lioness, the second season. And so I was just out there the whole time dying. That's because I mean I'm brown. I'm just most of the stuff I play is like a terrorist or a bad guy or you know what I mean, someone's bodyguard. So I just spent all summer.
How do you feel about that stereotype?
I mean, it sucks, but you know, there's no confusion on why I'm there.
Oh yeah, you were the terrorist in Weird Al movie too.
In everything, I was Mexican military.
But that was he was Mexican military. That's speaking Spanish, and first thing I saw was like, that is not him speaking Spanish.
You text me and go, oh, he's like, I saw you in the Weird Al movie, but I was more surprised that you were speaking Spanish.
Mr. Escamilla.
No.
Senor Escamilla.
Yeah, un poquito. Yes. But the funny thing is they had us, me and the other stunt guys, guy Chad Guerrero, we both got hired for it. And so we got to our dress rooms and I could hear him in the other room trying to learn the Spanish lines too, because he didn't speak Spanish either. And we actually say them all in Spanish terribly. And then they dubbed us to like a real Spanishy.
Yeah.
Man, I got dubbed in Paul Blart Mall Cop.
Everyone did except me, I think.
Oh, that makes me feel better.
So
I was like,
because you couldn't emote?
I had to do. I look over and there's a bomb that's been set in the kitchen, and I see it and go, you know, like, oh crap, or some shit like that. Somebody else who's American was like, no way, or some shit like that.
Because that sounded American.
And I was like,
somebody who sounded like Tony Hawk.
Yeah, and I was like, hey,
no way.
And then it blew up, and I'm like, wait, I didn't do
Your
no
accent
way
wasn't good.
good. Like what?
I didn't realize that until I watched it like a year ago with Luna, my daughter, and I was like, that's not Jason's voice. That's not Victor's voice. I don't even think that's Rick Thorne's voice. They dubbed most everybody, which was, you know, pretty funny watching it now.
I don't know how necessary that was, but okay.
I guess we were talking about stunts. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, but I was going to ask you about some bike stunts. But go ahead.
Yeah. So it's mostly all me being a terrorist or military, and it's just me dying. You know, like on Lioness, I bet you I died 30 times.
Are you getting better at dying?
I've been slowly dying since we stopped going on tour. So yeah, I'm pretty good at it now.
Dying inside.
Dying inside. So it's just I just brought it to the outside now. But yeah, no. So it was a really good summer, and it was for a Taylor Sheridan show. So that's the guy who does like Yellowstone and all those big shows. So
sick.
It was like making this. You know, TV shows are different than movies, right? As budget wise, but these shows are such big budget that it's like helicopters and explosions and tanks blowing up, and so it was a pretty fun job this summer. But like one day we had to shoot a scene where I sort of get shot by a 50 cal. I'm standing in front of a truck that's gotten blown up and exploding next to me, and I jump back into the door. It's open, it shuts, I fall on the ground. But you know, we'll shoot that scene 50 times.
Wow.
So it's like it's taken a toll, you know. But luckily I have a new body, so we're good.
Oh yeah, he went full stem cells in TJ,
and it's been changed my life.
Really?
You went to Bike Accelerator, is that right? Yeah. I went to CPI here, that's just right over the border in Tijuana, and I was at the point where I was not that I was done riding bikes, that was for sure, but I was done walking, I was done working, I was done. I would spend 2 to 4 hours like just focusing on my breathing because my pain in my hips were so bad and my back. And now I've gone once back for a checkup. I'm actually gonna go back next week and get more on my knees because
how long has it been?
I've been 18 months since I've been, almost 18 months. But because I said my knees would take multiple because it's just bone on bone. And I mean, but in 30 days, my back went from 100% pain to 0 pain, and I've had 0 pain since.
Wow.
That's awesome.
You can like see the scans, you can see my back growing back. My knees went from like riding my bike for 30 minutes and being swollen for 3 days to I can ride all day and they don't hurt the next day. I can snowboard like half a day. You know, I can tell, you know, it's literally been the best thing that's ever happened to me. And you know what I mean? That was like life changing because it was like, oh, I got to figure out how I'm going to make money, not leaving my house. And
I remember seeing you.
You took me.
Yeah.
You drove. I came down.
That's
You
right,
drove me.
I drove you down there.
You drove me
That's
down
right.
there for my first thing. Yeah. And it was like I had just done a movie right before that. I did Rebel Moon, which is on Netflix, and I worked on it for like 20 some days, and I made 28 grand. And
that
paid for it.
Procedure.
Yeah, that paid for it. It just paid for it. And I remember
that's with getting a deal, right?
No, that's just the whole thing. Like that was what it was. 27. Well, because they have a thing where if you recommend somebody, they'll give you some free stem cells, but you have to get a certain amount to collect. Yeah. And I'd made videos because there was no one to talk to, or because I saw the only thing I saw is you and Rampage getting out of a car. Like it was the most painful thing in the world. Trying to get out of a van afterwards.
Okay, I wasn't in the same video with Rampage.
Oh, okay. Maybe else. I'm just not remembering.
But you did see me walk around because if we get a lot in a lot of spots,
it's
if
painful.
you get it in one knee, you can use the rest of your body to get around. Yeah. If you get it in both your ankles, both your knees, and your hip, and both wrists and your shoulder,
and your back, I couldn't
when
move.
that kicks in, you're
like
just like, duh.
It's like they tell you
walk. They're like, try to stay mobile for as long as you can. And I was like, okay, and it's in a mall, and I was like, so I'll just walk around the mall, and they go, yeah, for like as long as you can. I was like, okay, well, I will go for as long as I can, and you know where we're from, like we can take it, you know, and I'm walking, and I'm like, okay, and then at one point I was standing there, and my chick was going to get some food or something, and I was like, I can't go in there, I'm just gonna stand here, and because I had both my ankles shot, I couldn't, I was finding it difficult to stay standing. Because, like, if you lean forward, you got to catch yourself. If you lean back, you catch yourself. And I almost fell over, and this woman just comes out of nowhere and comes over and goes, excuse me, can I help you? And I was like, what? He's like, do you need me to get the police? And I was like, the police? What? And I'm like, oh, no, I'm okay. I had needles. And then that's when I was like, can I have a wheelchair? Because I was going to fall on my face.
Wow.
Like, I couldn't. But I did a couple of hours where I was just like, it got slower and slower.
Oh, yeah.
And then these
it's
came
really
in,
painful.
like they come in more like a mummy. I was just like a mummy. But that shit, like you said, really works.
I got everything from here down, every joint, 170 million into.
Man, for 20
joints.
grand, that's an awesome deal.
Yeah. So I mean, it's changed my life. If knowing how it worked for me, I'd pay 100 grand if I could afford it. But
That's how much they charge.
when I woke up, because I had to be put under because I got my back done. When
Yeah.
I woke up and I went to go pee for the first time, I went, and I looked at the dude, and I just started laughing because I couldn't believe. I was like, I couldn't believe how bad and sore I was. But with that, every hour you get better, and within like a day and a half, you're just like, oh, it's sore.
Yeah.
It just feels like it's like first workout you've ever done with like David Goggins or something. Is your first workout. Your whole body just feels
so I only had my back and my neck.
So you could.
And then it felt like a day after a bad whiplash to me, or a day after a bad chicken neck.
Oh, okay.
When I went back and did my neck, and I did my neck and my knees again, it was like 50% of what it felt like. I was like, oh, it's not so bad. But it's been the best thing that's ever happened to me. As far as like thinking that it was game over, you know? I was trying to get right in my head going, okay, well, I've had a better life than most people ever will.
Right.
I've just got to accept that the rest of it is going to be really hard.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. But
Well,
it's been,
and the reason that you had such horrific injuries is because you're doing stuff like doing a backflip off of a curved rail into a ditch.
It was a lot of, and you know, when you're doing it, you're like, this is, we're just like, oh, I'm hurt again today. I'm hurt again today.
Yeah.
And then you guys know, it's like, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, this is what they were talking about. When you're older, you're going to be a mess. And now I'm older and I was a mess.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. It's given me everything. And I mean, like I said, I wouldn't be doing stunts now.